Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Budget Finance Economic Development Committee. It is now 10:08. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. My name is Chair of this committee, Yukile Sugimura, and I wanted to welcome you. And we conduct this meeting in accordance to the Sunshine Law. And as a reminder, if your name is called and if you're not in the chamber, it looks like it might be only to your meeting. That's why she likes black licorice. She's the only person I know who likes black licorice.
Oh, really? Is that German?
Is it? It is? Okay, well, how do you even say it now? I might.
Well, I say Guten Morgen, but she says it better.
Okay, Guten Morgen is.
Already you're changing it. Okay, but that's okay. Hey, by the time it gets to Tom Cook, it's, be different again.
Member Sinensi. He'll put a Hawaiian slang to it. All right, next we have Member Paulton.
Aloha kakahiaka and guten morgen kako.
Member Johnson.
Good morning, Chair, Council members, community members. There's no testifiers at the Lanai District Office. Guten Morgen, and I'm here and ready to work.
Ah, very good. Member Rollins Fernandez.
Aloha kakahiaka kako, my Molokai no Yahina. I'm at the Molokai District Office, alone on my side of the office, and there are currently no testifiers here. Mahalo, Chair.
Member Cook.
Aloha kakakiaka. Guku Morgan. There's no testifiers in the key.
Oh, Chair Lee was right.
At the moment. That was not even a guess.
Member Hodges.
Guten Morgen, everyone.
Very good. Member Sinensi.
Hey, aloha kakayaka and guten morgen. I just wanted to say that Uncle Don's German daughter, she's flying in from Germany tonight. So, guten morgen.
Oh, so can you practice on
To her,
and let
yeah.
us know tomorrow how to say it? Thank you. Thank you, Uncle Don. You can enlighten us tomorrow. From the Office of the Mayor, we want to thank Director Milner. I guess she's not with us. She's upstairs. Department of Corporation Counsel, Christina Toshikio, as well as Christy Wigglesworth. Committee Secretaries, Pauline Martin, Kirsten Zabo, Legislative Analyst, James Kruger, Senior Legislative Analyst, Jarrett Pasquale, and Clarissa McDonald, both Legislative Analysts. And Peter Hanano, Legislative Attorney, Rochelle Kawasaki, our Deputy Director of Council Services, and an attorney, Lei Deneen, Council Services Assistant Clerk. Please see the last page of the agenda for information on meeting connectivity. And members, for members attending today's BFED committee meeting, we have one item on the agenda today, which is BFED 1, proposed fiscal year 2026 budget for the County of Maui. And we'll continue our deliberations on the fiscal year 26 budget. And we'll start on discussions we'll start with presentations from We'll start with Department of Human Concerns, followed by Liquor Control, Housing, Management, Office of the Mayor, Department of EV Resources, Police, Planning, and Prosecuting Attorney. So that's a lot of departments that I hope we can get through with members. And so at this time, I would like to first ask James or OCS if you could present Exhibit 1 from Day 2 of what we discussed up to yesterday.
Thank you, Chair. We're starting the screen share now. So, well, just like yesterday, we've prepared Exhibit 1, just the pages for the departments that the committee discussed and was impacted yesterday by the committee's decisions. So,
just 1 second. Did you pass it out? Oh, they're printing it in larger print.
And we'll make sure to upload it on Granicus for the members' information as well. So just a brief overview. So it starts with the Department of Environmental Management. You can see the cuts and the increases that the committee went through for this department and for the other departments we discussed. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through real quickly. I guess some things to note that we did do some fringe calculations as it relates for the special funds in this department. So you'll see some of those changes as well, but we'll update them as needed. Here's finance. So the department, so the committee also went over the Department of Finance, which and including countywide costs. So you'll see it in the countywide costs portion, more fringe adjustments based on the committee's motions and just actions. I think one thing to note at the countywide costs portion is that we're also already making adjustments to the supplemental transfers to account for some of the changes the committee made to EP&S as well as to solid waste. And then the sheet also goes over fire and public safety, so you can see the changes that the committee made there. So just those three departments for today's Exhibit 1 distributable. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, members, and Ms. Martin is passing out Exhibit 1 for your information, and you can look at it. If you have questions, let us know. Thank you very much. Did Member Rollins Fernandez, did you get Exhibit 1 emailed to you? Yeah.
Not yet.
Okay, are you going to email it to them? Yeah, okay. They're going to email it to you.
Okay, mahalo.
Okay, so at this time, I'm going to continue on with today. I just want you to know that I believe, or I would like to complete as many departments as possible. I've already asked if we can consider a dinner for you if we're not able to complete that whole array of departments, because I think we need to finish by Friday so we don't have to work on Saturday. So that's my my goal. So today, we have testifiers, right? Second, we're going to, okay. So testifiers wanting to provide testimony should sign up with staff, join the online meeting via Teams link, or call in to the phone number noted on today's agenda. Testimony on the budget is not limited to the departments scheduled for today. Written testimony is encouraged and can be submitted via e-comment link at mauicounty.us/agendas as well. For individuals wishing to testify via Teams, please raise your hand by clicking on the Raise Your Hand button. If calling in, please follow the prompts via phone, star 5 to raise and lower your hand, and star 6 to mute and unmute. Staff will add your name to the testifiers list in the order testifiers sign up or raise their hands. For those on Teams, staff will have your hand, staff will lower your hand once your name is added. Staff will then call you by name, what you're logged in, or the last 4 digits of your phone number when it is your time to testify. At that time, staff will also enable your phone number and microphone and video. Please ensure your name appears in Microsoft Teams as the name you prefer to be referred to, or as anonymous if you wish to testify anonymously. If you're in person, please notify staff that you would like to testify anonymously. Otherwise, please state your name for the record at the beginning of your testimony. Oral testimony is limited to 3 minutes per person, per person, and if you're not done testifying, you will get 30 seconds to complete. And if you're still testifying beyond that point, I will kindly ask you to complete your testimony. Once you're done testifying, and if you do not wish to testify, you can also view this meeting on Akaku Channel 53, Facebook Live, or mauicounty.us/agendas. We will do our best to take each person up in an orderly fashion. Staff, please call the first testifier.
Chair, the first testifier is Cecile Powell, to be followed by Holly Hunt.
Good morning, Ms. Powell.
Good morning, testing the mic. Aloha, Chair, thank you. Aloha, council members. My name is Cecile Powell. I am the recycling section manager. I am testifying as a county employee. I work for the Department of Environmental Management in the EP&S Division Recycling Section. I'm testifying to provide clarification on expansion request of $400,000 for the recycling grants program that is in position of being cut as of yesterday. So the EPNS division actually has 3 sections. We have our own staff, we have our own budget, we have our own programs, including our own grants programs. So the environmental programming section is the one that had all of the OED grants transferred to. The recycling section is not. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens to yours one too, huh? Anyways, the recycling section, we have our grants program. The recycling grants program, I don't know if you recall the testifiers. There were several testifiers on April 15th in support of the recycling grants program. We are not involved with the OED grants that were transferred. We are fully staffed and capable of handling the additional bandwidth. And the effect on our programs is actually directly related to our diversion opportunities that we've been working with the community in development. The expansion request is specific to increase grants opportunity, each grant amount, not necessarily increasing the amount of grants. We did identify that a lot of the development of on-island recycling processes does require new or modifications to existing infrastructure that is required to develop these pilots so that we can move in the direction of not being reliant on the global commodity market for our recyclables materials, but more so we have it on island and it's more of a resource that folks can utilize on island. I hope that helps clarify. I'm here with questions if you have, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Anybody have questions for Ms. Powell? Did you? Yeah, okay. Member Johnson.
What was the number again? Was it 400,000 that was cut from you, from that division?
Yes, it is for 919-730B/6317.
You got that memorized, nice. Okay, so you're saying that please don't cut it, you can use it, is what you're saying. You have the bandwidth, you have fully staffed, you guys are ready to go? Okay.
Affirmative, yes.
Thanks for that response. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, any other questions? See none. Okay, thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. Member
Just a real
Kama.
quick question. So are you guys the guys that towed all the cars away?
That's the abandoned vehicles and metals
Okay,
section. That's not the recycling section. It's one of the 3 sections under EPNS.
So it does fall under EPNS, but in the abandoned car?
Yes, EPNS has 3 sections. The first is AVM, abandoned vehicles and metals. The second is environmental programming, which received the OED grants transfers. And then the recycling section, which is why I'm here.
Okay, all right, thank you. Next testifier, please.
Chair, the next testifier is Hallie Hunt, to be followed by J.D. Whitaker.
Good morning, Chair Sugimura and members of the committee. My name is Hallie Hunt, and I'm the Artistic Director for Adaptations Dance Theater, Maui's only professional contemporary dance company. This year marks ADT's 12th anniversary as a nonprofit arts organization. For over a decade, we've been committed to making Maui a place where professional dance can not only exist but thrive. Through residencies, performances, educational programs, and community engagement, we've created over 120 performances, offered 100 artist contracts, and built a homegrown ecosystem that nurtures Maui dancers from student to professional. Today, I'm here to express my strong support for the proposed $90,000 line item for Adaptations Dance Theater. With this funding, ADT will be able to continue offering employment for professional Maui dancers, allowing them to pursue the professional careers on island, providing world-class contemporary dance performances to our community, and expanding our signature Bring It Home, BIH concert at the historic Iao Theater to include a second season each year, doubling the opportunities we can offer both artists and audiences. BIH is more than a performance series. It's a long-term investment in Maui's creative economy and cultural life. In 2026, this expansion will allow us to offer 2 4-week residencies for dance artists, present 6 original performances at the historic Yale Theater, issue over 43 paid contracts to local and returning artists, engage 1,800 audience members, many of whom are Kapuna and students attending free or discounted thanks to our partnership with Wave of Harmony, and channel nearly $93,000 in direct economic impact to local businesses through tourism, studio rentals, printing, and professional services. We develop local talent and build programs that reflect the values, diversity, and voices of Maui. Our dancers perform stories rooted in this place, created by the people who live here, who grew up dancing here, were taught here, and now teach dance here and give back to this community in a multitude of ways. This expansion is not just possible, it's ready. We've spent 12 years laying the groundwork, and with this line item, we can offer year-round employment to our artists, reach new audiences, and further establish Maui as a destination for world-class, community-driven contemporary dance. On behalf of our board, our artists, and our community partners, I ask for your full support of ADT's $90,000 line item in the fiscal year 2026 mayor's budget. With it, we'll continue honoring Maui's creative legacy and build an even stronger future for contemporary dance right here at home. Mahalo for your time and consideration. Any questions?
Any questions, members? Seeing
Okay.
none.
Thank you.
Next testifier.
Chair, the next testifier is JD Whitaker, to be followed by Nettie Akiro.
Good morning, Chair Sugimura and members of the Budget Committee. My name is Katie Whitaker, and I am here to voice my strong support of including Adaptations Dance Theater's $90,000 line item in the fiscal year 26 mayor's budget. This critical funding would allow ADT to expand its Bring It Home program, providing consistent professional work for Maui-based dance artists. I have been a dancer with ADT since 2016. I've taught in their youth programs and am now an emerging choreographer with the company. I grew up in Wailuku dancing at Maui Academy of Performing Arts alongside fellow ADT members Ali McKeon Pinillo, Emily McKeon, and Maddie McGain. After graduating high school, I left Maui to pursue a professional dance career, earning my BA in dance from California State University, Long Beach. And then I worked professionally in Los Angeles after that. While working professionally in Los Angeles, in 2016, I was offered a contract that flew me back to Maui to perform in ADT's first Bring It Home dance concert. The opportunity was life-changing. Not only did it reconnect me to my home community and family and friends, but it showed me that professional dance work on Maui was possible. By 2018, I actually moved back home, thanks in large part to the consistency, the community, and the paid opportunities that ADT had offered. Paid opportunities for contemporary dancers and choreographers on Maui are rare. ADT's Bring It Home program has been a vital platform for local artists like me to grow, not just as a professional performer, but as a leader, an educator, and a creator. Through Bring It Home, I recently choreographed my first professional piece, an experience that helped me shape my artistic voice and open new doors I never thought possible without leaving the island. My story is just one of many. This funding doesn't only impact my career, it supports a pipeline for dancers who grew up here, are growing up here now, and want to contribute meaningfully to our island's cultural life. ADT has invested in developing dancers into teaching artists and professional dancers and professional teaching artists into professional choreographers. That kind of growth matters, both personally and professionally. Please support ADT's $90,000 line item in the fiscal year 26 budget and help ensure that Maui dancers can continue to live and work in the community that raised them. Mahalo for your time and for your consideration.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Just a second.
Question.
Anybody have questions? Thank you.
Mahalo.
Next testifier.
Chair, the next testifier is Nettie Akiro, to be followed by Eva Tatillo. Apologies if I mispronounced your name.
Can everyone talk?
Aloha, everybody. Thank you for having me here today. I'm a newbie at this. If someone told me 2 years ago I'll be in front of you requesting for support for a cause that we didn't know was going to happen. So first of all, I am Nettie Aquino. I am from Lahaina, and I come in support of Nakia'i o Maui. I'm nervous. I wrote the whole speech, I forgot it. So I'm just gonna come from the heart, okay?
Yes.
First of all, from the devastation of the fire, we all know we're out of the emergency and we're now in the resilience and recovery stages right now. We have formed, or I have formed, a nonprofit, boots on ground, no nonsense organization that provides for the displaced families in Lahaina and in Kula, and just recently the flooding in Kihei. Our mission is to provide service and assistance to any natural disasters and or fires on Maui. So the whole purpose of me being here is on the day of the fire, I also was affected. I could decide to be a victim, a survivor, or a fighter. And I chose to become a fighter. I showed up at the shelter and then I became the leader. And then from there, my timeline, if you guys want more information, you guys can go on my website. But we have grown and we are expanding. We are here, and my heart is pounding because I'm being transparent. I'm asking for support. From almost 2 years, we're almost 2 years, everybody. We make 1 year at Lahaina Resource Recovery Center. We call it the LRRC. And that is for the displaced families. We provide household goods, we provide food, we provide daily essentials, we provide furnitures. We do exactly the same thing that CNHA do without funding and support from any government. We have gone out to the community, and with the community and the people's trust, they have joined our journey to support, and Lahaina will rise. And so I am here asking for support in any line. I've sent you guys an email, and I did not know about this until last night. Because I'm such a new nonprofit. I didn't even know what a nonprofit was. All I knew was my heart was big, and I had to step in. I am faith-driven. And there have been many times I felt like I wanted to just step away, and my akua just said, no, not yet. So I am here just to say I will be here and I will not quit until Lahaina rises. We get to walk through Front Street once again. We're expanding to Lahaina. I am asking for the rental lease of our current place right now because our grant ends this month. And we make 1 year in June. This June, Lahaina Resource Recovery Center will celebrate serving 4,500 families. And so, some of you don't know me, but I am Auntie Nettie. And so I thank you guys all so much for allowing me to come. And I don't know what I was supposed to say, but they sound so professional.
Thank you, Auntie Natty.
Thank you.
So what amount are you asking for in the budget?
So I am asking, I have several lines, whatever you guys can do. The way I'm not a grant writer, everybody. I learned everything on the experience. And so the way I did was I put down what I need, and if he can support, you support. If can. If you cannot, you cannot. I'm asking for right now, emergency today is our current rental lease at our current place at 150 Hana Highway, and that's $120,000 for a year. We're here for 1 more year, and then we're going to move to Lahaina and be there for the next 10, 15 years. We're going to be there to serve Lahaina.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much. Anybody else? Member Paulton, then Chair Lee, then Member Kama.
Aloha, Auntie Nanny, mahalo for everything that you do. I just, if I wanted to clarify if the lease is up this month, this money wouldn't be available until July. Is there a way to keep the space
Yes.
between now and July?
So I do have some extra funds to hold me for a month or two, but after that, I would have to find another way to support.
And you can find somebody to assist you with the grant writing, because even if it is line item, you still gotta submit the.
Correct, I do.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
And you said you had several things, what else?
So another thing is the relocation to Lahaina. So we are prepping in January 2026 to move to Lahaina. We will be in Lahaina in April 2026. I have my space only for 2 years.
You have a space in Lahaina because Harry and Jeanette Weinberg have plenty properties in
Correct.
Lahaina.
So I have Weinberg, I have real estates, I have philanthropist people. I'm dipping in every solution. I do not have a land. I'm asking for Maui County if you had land or any suggestions or connections to get me to Lahaina.
Okay, we're hoping to open our Lahaina residency area office soon, and we're going to share with Maui Adult Daycare Center. But once we open it, come by. It's where the old UH extension was on.
Oh, okay. Okay, will do. Mahalo.
Member, Chair Lee, then Member Kama.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Thank you for coming. I think you're going to find that this council is very supportive of what you're doing and of you. As Member Paulton said, it'll be best that you find someone like another nonprofit that can handle the grant application and the grant reporting. And we call that an umbrella agency. And if you call our office, any one of us, we can give you, suggestions on various nonprofits that do this service.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then as far as other funding sources, have you tried Hawaii Community Foundation?
No, I have not.
You haven't? Okay. I suggest you do that because they have been very helpful with many, many, many organizations on Maui, especially Lahaina, and they have been very generous. But again, it's helpful to have someone who has experience in writing for funding. Yeah. And so good luck to you, and we certainly look forward to helping you in one way or another. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll see you on the journey.
Thank you.
Member Kama.
Thank you, Chair. And it is going to be a journey. Thank you for being here today. So my question is, your grant writer, that's
Correct.
what you're going to be looking for.
That would be me. I'm the grant writer. I'm everything.
Okay, so you're going to write your grant.
Correct.
Okay. Have you gone to grant writing training workshops?
No, I have not.
Okay. Do you know of any other grant writers besides yourself that have
Yes, I
written
do.
grants? Okay. Then you can get help from them.
Correct.
Okay. I know at one time the Office of Economic Development was doing workshop trainings, but maybe you should call them too, because what they do is they go through the grant applications that the county has so that it's easy for you to follow. And then if you have questions, they're right there to answer the questions about anything you might have on that application. So I would suggest you do that first so that you don't feel like you become overwhelmed. A lot of people have become overwhelmed because of that process, but other people have told me once you go through it, then it's easier after that. So we want it to be easy after that and not hard for you as you start to begin. And the other thing you mentioned was that you don't have any land yet.
Correct.
But you're certainly looking towards Lahaina and.
Correct.
And Member Paulton has told you, look her up when, at the time that they get their residency office established out there. That'd be a great thing to do. But also the other thing is, are you on salary? Or
I
is
am on
this all
salary.
Okay. Okay, just wanted to
That's
make
what's
sure.
keeping me afloat right now.
Yeah. I think Aloha is great, but at some point in time, it's like kakalina, yeah?
Correct.
You run out. So thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Mahalo.
Thank you. Member Johnson.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning.
Good morning.
Nettie. Good to
Nice
see
to
you
meet you again.
Yes, just for the members' information, I went to her blessing and we checked out the resource center that you have there. It's excellent. The shower laundry bus that came.
The trailer, hygiene trailer.
Yeah, it has laundry, it has showers, it's ADA compliant. I think that shows that she's a doer, right? And that's kind of, that you're the kind of folks that we want to kind of fund and help you because you know how to get things done. So I really appreciate you coming down here and introducing yourself to us because, well, there's a will, there's a way. So thank you so much for all the work you do.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other questions? Oh, okay.
I just thought about it as Member Johnson was speaking. Is your laundry facility ADA compliant?
Yes, everything. I am
Perfect.
certified at my site.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mahalo.
Thank you. Next testifier.
Chair, the next testifier is Eva Tantillo to be followed by Leslie Milner.
Guten Morgen, everyone. I want to thank you all for allowing me to testify. I'm a horrible testifier, so I wrote it out. So I will read this the best I can. I'm a bed and breakfast owner. We have had our bed and breakfast has been licensed since 1998. We're actually the first license. It's our only property, it's our only income, and we're owner occupied. My husband's 74 and I'm 62. As a bed and breakfast owner, we generally work from 5:30 to 7:30 every day, 7 days a week. I sleep with the phone by my head just in case a guest needs anything. This is basically a 24-hour profession. It's not a complaint at all. It's simply a statement. Along with running the bed and breakfast, which includes all of the cleaning, maintenance, administration, shopping, guest services, making low school reservations, we also help out with our grandchildren, which includes often watching them after school and any financial support we can give. All of this is within our owner-occupied home. I can't imagine that many people actually occupy their home as much as we do. With all this being said, we love that we can help our grandchildren and we love our profession and always have. Our occupancy is down the last couple years. If everything holds steady, it's going to continue to go down. Our occupancy in April was 60. I don't have anything in the summer that's over 20%. We're losing most of our international travelers daily. If they've made reservations, they're canceling or they're just not making them, especially the Canadians and the Germans. Our domestic travelers are tightening the belt. We have additional expenses associated with the property as B&B owners. Our insurance is much higher than a traditional owner-occupied home due to the increased liability. I just received a new estimate for my hurricane insurance, which is only one of the 4 I have to carry. It's increased from $1,200 a year to $5,000. Wow. As a bed and breakfast owner, our property taxes are already higher than the owner-occupied, coupled with losing the homeowner's exemption. I believe that we actually pay the highest rate of any home-occupied home in Maui County. In the big scheme of things, the county's budget is impacted very little by the taxes from the B&B. There's only 145 permitted or licensed B&Bs in Maui County. The permitting process has been available since 1997. So in 28 years, there are only 145 permitted bed and breakfasts. Many of the 145 on the county website no longer exist. Between the fires, natural attrition, and new regulations, particularly pertaining to the requirement to live on the property for 5 years, becoming a licensed B&B is cumbersome and discouraging. I believe there will be much fewer in the additional years. As a licensed B&B, we already don't benefit from the homeowner's exemption. We now contribute 3.56% of our room rates directly to Maui County through TAT and GET taxes. To continue to raise our property taxes will have very little effect on the Maui County budget, but it could have devastating effects on licensed B&Bs. In 1993, we purchased our property for $425. The same property was assessed at $1.9 this year. This may sound like a windfall, but it's only a windfall if one sells, and we have no intention of selling. To sell would also be losing our profession. Many of us have been doing this for a very long time. Selling would be retirement without the traditional retirement financial benefits. So our retirement is to continue to run the bed and breakfast. I am sure some, including ourselves, were hoping to do so on a smaller scale. As everything, including property taxes, include to raise, even that the scale we're running at now is not sustainable. The increased property taxes are not reflective of the decreased. Thank you.
Oh, are you done? Are you almost done?
Oh, I thought that bell was telling me I was done.
Yeah, actually, that was the 30 additional seconds, so you have one
Okay,
line to.
I have just a few more. Okay. In my opinion, the more fair assessment would be to grant us owner-occupied rates for only the first tier to acknowledge our owner-occupied portion of our home and commercialized residential rates for the assessed amount above tier 1 values greater than 1.5 million. And this is off, but I just really want to thank Councilmember Alice Lee for all of her support 30 years ago with the bed and breakfast law. It truly brings tears to my eyes to see you continue your dedication to Maui County for so long. I know what a selfless act this is.
Thank you. We love her.
Thank
too.
you. We do too.
Chair, I have a question.
Yeah. Member Johnson.
Good morning, Ms. Tantillo. Just a clarifying question. Do you stay in your home or did you convert an ohana?
Oh, no, we live in our home.
Okay, and the guests stay?
And the rooms are within our home.
Okay. all
Yes.
right. Thanks for that clarification. Thank you, Chair.
Any other questions, members? Member Kama?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for being here again, Ms. Santillo. So,
Thank you.
so you mentioned in your testimony that you pay hurricane insurance, which is 1 out of 4
Yes.
insurances you pay.
Yes.
What are the other 3?
Yes.
Besides?
We pay liability, personal liability, bed and breakfast liability. We pay the normal homeowners insurance, and we pay a separate insurance to cover the county for the $1 million.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Chair Lee?
Thank you, Ms. Tantillo. I appreciate your kind words. I'm trying to recall. I remember voting for the creation of the bed and breakfast category.
Yes.
I wasn't here when the vacation rental category was created, but just the bed and breakfast. And at that time, I recall that it was a permit for X number of years. Is it still the same?
It is. It's changed over the years. It was a permit that was renewable every year,
Right.
or extendable every year. Now it's a permit that's extended every 5 years.
Okay.
And that's why the county website isn't right, because if somebody had a permit and they're now gone within those 5 years, it doesn't reflect that.
Okay. Well, what I was going to say, because it's a permit that needs to be reapproved every so many years, I do remember that one of the stipulations was that you had to have a good relationship in your neighborhood. So if there were complaints, then your permit would be at risk. So it appears that you've had your permit since the 90s. So that's a testament to how good a neighbor you've been, and I congratulate you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Member Johnson?
Just a follow-up. So you mentioned your house is assessed at 1.9 million? Is that correct?
Correct.
Is it one house?
Correct.
Is it on 2 houses on the property?
It's one house.
Oh, okay, thanks. Yeah, I'm just, why is it
Thank
so
you.
high?
It's crazy.
Okay, all right, thanks.
All right. No other
Thank you.
questions? Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Next testifier,
Thank you.
please. Thank you.
Chair, the next testifier is Leslie Milner, to be followed by Leilani Pomano.
Aloha Chair, aloha Council members. Calling to testify this morning on 3 items. First, I just wanted to point out to the members, Human Concerns does their grant process a little bit different than the other departments, so I just wanted to make a note of that for you. They do a 2-year grant process. Next year will be the 2nd year of those grants from the competitive pots. So if any changes are made to the competitive pots, reductions or conditions, that may impact the grantees from this year. So I just wanted to flag that for you all. And then for the Housing Experimental and Demonstration Housing Fund, We were doing another review, and in Appendix A, Part 2, the estimated balance as of 6/30 should be $1 million. So the Housing Department would like to reduce their request from 4.75 to 3.75 for the transfer. And then I also wanted to mention for the Department of Environmental Management wastewater, they reported in fiscal year 2024 a $4.2 million shortfall in revenue due to the wildfires. And so knowing that they were looking at a shortfall, they did purposely reduce their spending. So that is the reason for the $6 million in lapsed appropriations. So if you take the 6.29 in lapsed appropriations and subtract the 4.2 million in revenue shortfall, it's only 2.09. So I just wanted the committee to have that information. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, any questions for Budget Director? Seeing none. Okay, thank you very much. Oh, I'm sorry. Here's Member Cook. Sorry about that, Ms. Milner.
Thank you, Director Miller. So the environmental management, the shortfall is basically the cuts that are made to them. Is that impacting at a greater extent than we're aware of? Is that what you're saying?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Councilmember Cook. Yes, I think it would have significant impacts. I know Director Agawa is signed up to testify and can give you some specifics, and they've also run the rates, and I don't believe that the cuts are going to have the intended reduction for homeowners impact because of how the algorithms work, but I will let him speak to that. But yes, there's concern that the cuts that were made yesterday will significantly impact the department because they were based on appropriations that didn't take into account those lapsed revenues. Yes.
Thank you for the information. I look forward to his testimony. Mahalo. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair.
No other questions. All right, thank you. I am sure we'll be seeing you again. Next testifier.
Chair, the next testifier is Leilani Pomano, to be followed by Shane Agawa.
Good morning, Chair Sugimura and council members. My name is Leilani Pomano with Pacific Rim Land. Before I start on my real testimony, I wanted to throw my support for Ka'ipukukui, the leadership program that I was a past fellow, and looking in the room that there are several other past fellows, and also support for the Cut Mountain funding. Kainashiki and I have been in discussions about effectuating the Pali to Pumana plan, and Cut Mountain is hopefully the first piece of that Pali to Pumana plan. So Pacific Rim Land, we're building Lapoa, a master plan community in Kihei. And thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to testify in support of Council Member Kama's priority for the Affordable Housing Fund to be increased by $25 million for the Lapoa Apartments, which is a shovel-ready workforce housing project that directly addresses one of the most critical and underserved segments of our housing market. Maui, as you know, is in need of housing, and nowhere is that more apparent than in the shortage of homes for working families earning between 80 to 120% of area median income. This missing middle has been historically overlooked in affordable housing production, despite their essential roles in our economy. Lapoa Apartments will provide for 175 multifamily units, and this community was envisioned to support a live, work, play, innovate lifestyle, and already has infrastructure allocated and entitlements in place. With subdivision construction plans approved, water meters secured and paid for, and mass grading permits issued, site work is actively underway, positioning us to deliver housing without delay. The $25 million we're requesting will equate to approximately $143,000 per unit. And we understand that this is a large request. We didn't phase our project because it will take a significant amount of funds to get to finished lots where the 175 units can be built. The affordable rents will be consistent with the county affordable guidelines, which does include utilities. And as a local developer with more than 37 years of experience, Pacific Rim Land and our team at Lapoy are deeply committed to our community. The apartments represent a unique and immediate opportunity to make a meaningful impact in South Maui, adding housing where it's needed for those who are too often priced out of the market. We respectfully urge your full support of Councilmember Kama's requests. And thank you for your leadership and your dedication to housing solutions for our local families.
Thank you very much. Question from Chair Lee.
Good morning, Leilani.
Good morning.
You said that the project is shovel-ready.
It is.
Okay. Knowing what's happening on the mainland and so forth, the rising costs, this budget won't take effect till July. And then, of course, there's the paperwork, and God knows how long that's going to take. So right now, are you banking on like $500 a square foot? Or what level of cost are you looking at right now?
Right now, when we actually submitted for the Affordable Housing Fund, looking at our budgets, we estimated that per square vertical cost to be $419 a square foot.
Wow.
And then how many square feet on average?
Oh, shucks.
1,000, 1,200?
Oh, the
units,
apartments.
Yeah.
So the one bedrooms would be about 560 square feet. The two bedrooms, I think, a little over 800. And
Oh, this is a rental project.
it is.
I see.
And then the three bedrooms would be, I think, just over 1,200 square feet.
Okay. So if it's shovel-ready now, I'm curious, what happened to the financing that you were banking on?
So our total project cost is $85 million, and we're starting the project work in earnest, so I guess in risk, and hoping that we would get some affordable housing funding. The project can stop if we don't get funding. Not that that's a threat or anything, but just the reality of it. We would just shutter it for a little while until we can figure out the funding.
Okay, thank you. It sounds like you have a very good project. Thank you.
Thank you.
Member Paulton.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Ms. Pomano. Can you clarify what the affordability period was?
So we would follow 2.96, which is 30 years for the affordability period, even though the 75% is not required to be. But of course, if we're asking for funding, we would be certainly open to having a restriction on that.
Can you clarify the 75%? It's not required to be 100% affordable, you mean?
Correct.
And then, what happens after the 30 years?
I think in 2.96, the county has the first right of refusal for purchase.
Okay. And then what are the consequences of phasing? Like, say you get half now and half next fiscal year?
Yeah, we've been thinking about that, to be honest, a lot, right? You never want to bite the hand that feeds you. If I see
Are we
it,
the hand? Just clarifying.
Yes,
Okay.
you would be the hand. And I would still pick up 50 cents, even though I would also pick up a dollar. But I think honestly for us is that we are conservative as a company. We're very systematic in the work that we do. We know that we need $25 million to make this project work. And if we don't get it, we would still need to find a different way. It's just the risk. We're very risk averse. So I think for us, we would really appreciate it if we could get all of it.
I guess, you know, in seeing the kuikahis and the kilohana makais and like that, and like, you know, maybe in excess of 6-7 million for 28 individual homes, this does seem like a much better deal. And I'm not saying copy Carnicelli, but let us know what's going on as you go, because I do feel like this came a little bit out of left field. Like I saw the changing zoning stuff. But then with the title of Lipoa, it's like, oh, there's this, you know, and there's other developers that are with us all the time, and their plans are changing so much, and it's like that. And I like this kind of thing, and I'm not saying I want to see you every week or anything, not professionally, but it's just, you know, let us know on the radar a little sooner, and like, you know, check in kind of thing, because this is much more pleasant to deal with than the guys that come back every time asking for more money for offering less or whatever.
Thank you. We like to keep our head down, but well, we understand that there needs to be more transparency in our part, so we'll definitely make that effort.
Okay. Member Kama, then Member Johnson.
Thank you, Chair. Thanks for being here this morning, Leilani. So, you know, one of the things we always are concerned about on this council is that when projects come up is that our local people actually are going to be living there, and they're going to be applying for them. And the best way for that to happen is?
Well, we're going to follow the 2.96. There's a list, I believe, and it's supposed to be prioritizing local residents. But there are ways, right, that you can actually prioritize local residents without being prejudiced or selective. And there are many marketing ways, like actually you have to come pick up the application. That is a very big way how to get your locals to apply and to get into the homes.
Yep. Okay. And thank you for taking care of the missing middle. Thank you so much. Thank
Certainly
you,
is needed.
Yeah.
Member Johnson.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, Ms. Leilani. Thanks for coming, and I appreciate all the work that you do. So my question is why did you get a reason why the administration didn't put this money into the Affordable Housing Fund?
I did. To be honest, the $25 million is kind of a shocker, right? It's a big amount compared to what you see in your affordable housing list. And so I think that may have deterred the selection committee. It was a big amount.
So it's just the size of the ask?
Yes.
Okay. Did you go before the HHFDC for any state funding?
We don't, not because we're in that 80 to
the missing middle.
120.
That's why.
And they haven't come out with tier 2 funding. Apparently the legislature is pushing out some tier 2 funding, but I'm not sure when that's going to be coming out or.
Okay. And you said you're shovel ready, so that means all the planning and design and permits is all done.
Yes.
So you just need construction money.
We need construction money for offsite. And just to clarify, if we do get this funding, our architects is ready to go to actually start preparing the building permit plans. We've done already our conceptual plans and our schematic plans. So at this point, they really just have to put their pens to the paper and start doing real drawings.
Okay, thank you for your responses. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. So my question, if everybody's done, I'm sorry, Member Cook first.
Thank you for coming, and I'm real familiar with this project. My clarifying question is as far as the definition of shovel-ready, and I just wanted to I see how much of the work is being done, roads, curbs, sidewalks, fire hydrants, all of that. What's the potential employment for Lipoa development when it's POW? Because this is one facet of it for rentals, but there's the commercial facet and a lot of other aspects. Do you have any numbers as far as how many people, how much jobs there are in that area?
I don't have the numbers for what the projection would be once we're fully built out. I do know that right now there are about 500 employees within Lipoa, within the park right now.
Okay.
Currently.
Thank you. What's the estimated completion date for this project, providing it gets the funding?
We intend to have people move in Q4 2027.
That's pretty quick. Thank you very much.
Okay. Any other questions? All right, so I wanted to ask one question then. You applied, and the department said that it was too much money. Did they support it? Because if we pass it, the department is going to have to release the funds with the mayor and get it done. So I just want to make sure that it is supported by the department, and I can ask the same question.
I would like to hope so, that it was supported. I don't know in certainty, but that's certainly a question that you can ask Director Mitchell.
Okay, thank you very much. Member Hodgins.
Thank you. I was hoping you could provide us a little bit more clarification on your shovel readiness. To be honest, we had a conversation yesterday, and I think when we're just kind of casually talking, it's easier to have everything top of mind. But if you could clarify all the permits you guys have already, that you're basically doing great. You're doing grading now because you have your grading permit. But I'm wondering if you could just tell the committee where you guys really are at when you mean shovel ready, because it's already earth moving.
Right. We did receive our state land use district boundary amendment to urban. We received our change in zoning, our community plan amendment. We are not in the SMA, so we don't have to go through our SMA. We have approved subdivision construction plans, so that allows us to actually start construction. So if we haven't already, we've already started dust fencing and mass grading. So shovel ready, when I say that, is there are people on the ground working on the project.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Chair.
Very good. We should have told you to bring pictures. Good job. Any other questions? Seeing none. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next testifier.
Chair, the next testifier is Shane Agawa, to be followed by Rhonda Alexander Moncrief.
Morning, Chair Sugimura, morning members. Good to see you all again. My name is Shane Agawa. I'm the Director of Environmental Management, and I'm here to testify on the budget, fiscal year 26 budget modifications. First, I'd just like to start off by thanking all of you for your hard work. Making sure and assuring the public that DEM is making the best use of our funds that's, budgeted every year. Most years, you rarely see me up here talking about budget, but most years, the modifications that this body makes, we can live with, right? We make adjustments, we move on. This year's a little bit different, and I'll just briefly go over why. So I want to give credit to Member Paulton for doing her due diligence and really trying to hold us to help out the people, especially when it comes to rates and fees, right? But I just want to explain, and I'll get into the details about the rates and fees a little bit more, but cutting the operations, and I know I mentioned before that, please don't touch our CAP, but again, cutting operations, that's the lifeblood of what keeps us going. That's what keeps us under regulatory compliance. In talking to Wastewater Reclamation Division, it's going to be very hard for us to continue to care for the health and safety of the public if our operations budgets are being cut. So that's just an overall view. The number that we're facing as far as overall budget cuts to our operation is roughly about 2.5 million. I have a breakdown here, but I won't go into that. You folks already have that. So I'll go into kind of the rates and fees. So you guys are proposing a cut to rates and fees, and I understand, again, is to help out the people. But I know you folks started to go into, okay, let's cut here, let's cut there. It doesn't work that way. Our rates and fees are based on a model. We have software That model is updated every 5 years to make sure that we're up to regulatory standards, federal standards, that we make sure that everybody pays their fair share. I know Budget Director Milner mentioned that there's Code of Federal Regulations that oversee us, that make sure everybody pays their fair share, and that we're not putting a burden more on one than the other. So based on that rate fee, and we crunched the numbers, and based on that 2.5 million cut that we're looking at, what we're looking at is overall rate increase. We said 9%. That'll only bring it down by a couple percent to 7%. But that's not the important part. The important part that I want to mention is that 2% decrease from 9% to 7% will not affect the residential monthly rate. And I think that was the intent, is to help out the local people. I don't want to go into all the details as to why not, but that's how the algorithm works. The software design, it takes into account the different strengths of wastewater, residential strength, commercial strength, industrial strength. It takes into consideration volumes, all different aspects, and it crunches out the numbers and it gives us recommended rate increases. In this case, the monthly for residential will not change. It will not decrease. The decrease will be on the non-residential side, which is the commercial and the industrial. So just to kind of just give you some information that if the intent is to help out the residents, decreasing the rates, they're not going to impact them on the monthly. Also want to just mention that, you know, part of being director of DEM, our job is to support the people of Maui County, ultimately. But part of my job is also to support the department. Our resources, our people, they're the ones who help the community, and it's my job to provide them the tools to do that. So operations budget, if we don't give them the tools, then we're going to start to run into problems, right? And I think all of you are well aware that you haven't been bombarded by calls from the public saying, my sewer has been backing up, this, you know, and it's due to the fact that our people are doing their job. And you guys have been providing them with the tools by giving us the budget. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, if we're going to cut from operations, those calls are going to start coming in. Now getting back to, okay, what's the solution? What's the suggestion? So although we don't like to make any cuts or give up anything, because everything we propose every year is important, and we whittle it down, we're very fiscally responsible. But if the goal is to target that 2.5 million, I retract on what I said about CIP, because operations, in talking with the division, and as I explained to you now, is very key, right, to regulatory compliance, spills, whatnot. So in lieu of that, from the department side, what we're looking at possibly is actually making modifications to our CIP budget. And again, this is just a suggestion that you folks can discuss. So we have a priority list. I think it was talked about yesterday on the wastewater side, 1 through 30 projects. We're proposing to possibly move CBS 4586, priority 29 for 300,000, possibly to another fiscal year down the road. Another project would be to move CBS 6082, South Kihei Capacity Sewer Upgrade, which is priority 27 out of 30 for 400,000. And CBS 6648, which is Lahaina Siphon and Ditch Distribution. That's priority number 26 out of 30 for 500,000. And there's another one that's a little bit up the list. It's a CBS 1146, West Maui EPA Compliance Sewer Rehab. That one is for $4 million. That is priority number 12. We're not proposing to cut the whole $4 million, but the difference to make up the 2.5, which is to cut it down by 1.3 million from 4 million to 2.7 million. So those suggested cuts will give you the same overall 2.5 decrease in our budget. And again, I just want to stress, and we've mentioned this before, that, you know, since COVID times especially, we've cut back, right? We've, for lack of better words, kicked the can down the road when it comes to CIP projects. Then we got hit by the wildfires, kicked the can down the road again. Well, The reason I'm up here is that road is no longer there, and that can is all bus up already. So we're gonna have to raise rates at some point. I have a list here of the different rate increases over the years. For the past maybe 7, 8 years, it's been pretty moderate. And we've adjusted to it. But we're at a point now where, again, if we do not get reasonable rate increases to support our expenditures, things are gonna happen and not for the good. And our operating expenses, for example, electricity, keeps going up. So if you cut from our operations, we're gonna be in a bad place because we're not supplemented by general fund as well, right? So, thank
Okay,
you.
Thank you. So members, as you can tell, he went over the 3 minutes, but this is vital. Can you submit that to us in writing?
Yes, Chair, I actually started my written testimony and, things just happen. I will try to finish it up. I kind of just spoke how I normally present is just kind of go it. But I'll do my best to summarize it in writing and I'll submit it.
Okay, because all those CBS, I was trying to write all your CBS numbers and whatever that would, relative.
Yeah.
And the priorities. So that's important. And I guess I just want to clarify that what you're saying is to do this and to leave your operations alone. Is that what your main message is?
That would be the main message. And it's not something we would like to do, but it's kind of like the lesser of two evils, right?
Member Paulton.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for your testimony, Mr. Director Ogawa. I just wanted to clarify. I was looking through the answers, and one of the questions I put, and I didn't see the answers, and it could be on me because it's late at night when I review the answers because these guys keep us here all day and night. One of the questions I had, and I'm pretty sure I wrote it down or something, was how would we bring the sewer increase fees to 5%? And I never found the answer, and that's why I shot off on my own to find the money myself. Did you receive that question of how to bring down the sewer increase fees 5%, or you never received it?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for the question, Member Paulton. Honestly, it may be in one of the EMs that was submitted. I just don't recall that question. But I'm not saying that I did not receive it. I just don't recall that.
Yeah, I didn't see the one about where's the 5 million from Human Concerns either. So I had these questions in my mind. I thought I said them out loud or something, and I didn't find the answers, and that's why I made my own path.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's just, there's a lot of clarification.
If the increase is 9%, which is now, to me, the reason why I did that was because of the skewed rents because of FEMA insurance, and now is not the opportune time to do it until those rents stabilize out. But so there's no way to decrease residential 5% without taking only the burden is only going to come off of commercial?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Member Paulton. That is correct. Based on how our rate model and algorithms work, we punch in the numbers based on our expenditures, everything like I mentioned. There's a lot of factors that we need to punch in, and then it comes out with the different rate increases. Overall percentage increase and how you see it broken down on the rate sheet, each individual one had is a different increase, right, per item. It tells us which items need to be increased by what percent, and that is based on the CFR that everybody pays their fair share. And that's why you cannot just take one and put it in another.
In that case, I wouldn't want to decrease it only for the commercial.
Are you done? Member Johnson.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, Director Gao. We don't mean to put more work on your plate, but here we are. Has the GE helped in any way?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Member Johnson. Yes, it did help. The GET has covered some of our capital expenditures. However, that has been factored into the rate model. That's one of the things. So again, if the GET wasn't a factor, the rate would be
Even higher.
even higher.
Okay, my next question is, I represent Lanai. I'm always going to fight for the people who are struggling. Why is Lanai fees so much higher? Is it because we don't have is the water private? I want to know the correlation or why is it so much higher?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for that question, Member Johnson. Chair, if I may request Eric Nakagawa, our Division Chief from Wastewater is here. Is that possible for him to be a resource to help answer Q&A?
Yeah. Are you saying he can answer that question?
Oh, yeah. If Eric can help answer
that question.
I believe he's signed up as well.
Is he next?
I can wait for him once it
Yeah,
gets to
okay,
his
we'll wait
turn.
for you.
Okay.
Thank you, Director. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. All right, so we'll look forward to your testimony in writing so that we could get all of this in your thought process and understand what I like that you're submitting to us, adjusting your CIPs, because that's something that we need to look at. Our budget is the total budget is high, so we need to lower it. So appreciate that, and we look forward to working with you. Sorry, Member Cook.
Thank you. My clarifying question, Director Agawa, by cutting back on the CIP, what is the impact?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Member Cook. So the impact is, again, we're delaying projects that help with our infrastructure to adhere to regulatory compliance. So the risk is if we keep kicking the can down the road, something catastrophic could possibly happen. Will it happen? Maybe not. But how we plan our CIP is based on a factor of things: aging equipment, expected lifetime of pump stations, and that's how we schedule our CIP. So if we kick it down the road, we're asking our equipment to, live on borrowed time.
Sounds like kind of rolling the dice.
It is.
My cut for rent for the $345,000, is that something that negatively impacts overall? And I'm just asking, I believe, support for the department is comprehensive. Everybody supports the department. And so thank you for coming today and clarifying what the impacts are. And that's huge because it enables us to make better decisions. So that's why I'm asking that. It's like, we don't want to take stuff away that you really need.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Member Cook. So the $345,000 that you're referring to, that's from the Solid Waste Division's budget. It's for a rental property that we're looking at to relocate out of the Wailuku base yard. The justification for that is the equipment, it's gotten to a point where our refuse trucks, they're so big, and with sharing with Public Works, it's really crowded. You got people walking around, so it's more of a safety hazard. But again, the impact, again, we don't know if somebody will get hurt, but there's that risk. So it's just to alleviate space and to reconsolidate, get some of our staff out of rental properties that we're currently paying rent on. Yes, this is another rental property, but it helps us to consolidate staff that are kind of scattered all over the place. Thank you.
Thank you for that clarification. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any others? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next testifier, please.
Chair, the next testifier is Rhonda Alexander Moncriz, to be followed by Carolyn Alveloa.
Rhonda?
Chair, Rhonda is unmuted on our end. Oh, I see. I think they just unmuted themselves.
Thank you. Aloha, Chair and Council members. I'm Rhonda Alexander Moncriz, Executive Director with Ho'ola Maui Kama Disaster Long-Term Recovery Group. We bring together community partners to create collaborative solutions for individual recovery. And today I'm testifying in support of an additional $3 million allocation from the general fund to Lahaina Community Land Trust for insurance gap funding. So we are on the ground and we're seeing firsthand the critical and growing need. There are approximately 300 families in Lahaina facing insurance gaps that make it impossible for them to rebuild on their own. We currently have 5 families in our collective pipeline with existing resources to help 10 more, but we are just beginning to hit our stride and the need is much greater. So we estimate that the average insurance gap for these families range between 300 to 400,000. An additional 3 million would allow our Rebuild Coalition to support another 10 to 12 families, therefore helping them stay on their land, in their homes, and in their community. We work in strong partnership with Hawaii Community Lending, Habitat Maui, Land Trust, and many, many rebuild industry partners who provide kukua in many ways. HCO provides the case management, LTRG handles the rebuild analysis and coordination, and the Land Trust focuses on funding, gap analysis, and long-term stewardship. So together, we ensure each dollar stretches as far as possible so we can help as many families as possible. What makes this request unique and a little urgent is that we're asking for $3 million to come from the general fund rather than the Affordable Housing Fund. This distinction is vital because the affordable housing dollars are limited to households earning up to 140% AMI or below, but we know that many fire survivors fall just above that threshold and they need help too. So there are no other active funding sources for these families in the community. Habitat funding caps at 100% AMI. CDBG resources right now are focused on families under 80% AMI, and this gap funding from the general fund will give us the flexibility to help that middle income family who are otherwise invisible in this recovery. So we are requesting you to help us keep our families in Lahaina, not allow income cutoffs to be the reason they are priced out of their homes and their community. So mahalo for your time and your consideration.
Thank you. Anybody have questions? See none. Thank you very much for all you do. Next.
All right, mahalo.
Mahalo. Next testifier.
Chair, the next testifier is Carolyn Alveloa, to be followed by the Royal House of Hawaii.
Aloha, good morning. Thank you so much. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Council. So grateful to be here. Thank you, Rhonda. You took all my talking points. No, not really. But I'm Carolyn Alveloa. I'm the Director of Operations for the Lahaina Community Land Trust, and I'm here to testify also in support of an additional $3 million from the General Fund for our Insurance Gap Program. We've been working really hard over this past year. We've developed our capacity and our partnerships, most especially our partnerships. Rhonda is a huge part of this project, and we couldn't be doing it without the collective work of all of us putting all of our resources together. By collectively putting these resources together, like she said, we are trying to stretch every dollar and make it go as far as possible and help as many families as possible. What we've found is every situation is so unique. The families are all facing incredible challenges. It's taken a while because everyone's been trying to work it out with their insurance companies, get the details of their final settlements. Some folks have been holding out waiting to see about the lawsuit settlement and are finally realizing they can't afford to wait. The changes in the construction industry and supply chain are presenting new challenges every day. There's really a sense of urgency, and we can't really afford to wait, particularly with these families that are in that income bracket that are outside of the range of traditional or already identified funding sources such as CDBG and the affordable housing money. We are, of course, not leaving those out. Your allocation to us last year is slated for folks in that income bracket. And as Rhonda said, we are on the verge of signing paperwork with our first 5 families. We've got 10 more in the pipeline that are in the process of going through all of our due diligence. That we work together with Hawaii Community Lending to make sure we've got a really robust and comprehensive financial analysis. Every family that gets to this point also has to have their construction plans all laid out, contractors identified, permits. It's really comprehensive, and like I said, we couldn't be doing it without the work of this team. The timing is critical. We are still waiting for an answer from Hawaii Community Foundation. We've been working through this process with them for nigh on a year. We are waiting for their decision and grant. But in the meantime, we're so grateful to Maui County, who identified us as a worthy partner and has stood with us all this time. We're making awesome progress in helping to do what we said we set out to do, and that's keep Lahaina lands in Lahaina hands and keep our Lahaina people home. This funding is critical to that, and I'd be happy to answer any questions there may be. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Carolyn. Any questions for her? See none. Oh, sorry. Member Johnson.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, Ms. Avaloa. Thank you for all the work that you do. Really appreciate it. If some folks get the money in the lawsuit, can the county funding that's filling the gap be returned, or is there a plan for that, or did you guys consider that?
That's a great question, something that we've been discussing. It's very, there's so many unknowns in that whole scenario. And just so that you're aware, the funding gaps that we are providing are just like, I don't want to say bare minimum, but we are only replacing like for like. We are not, and it's like a shelter, kind of like fundamental shelter needs only. So if they do end up with well, I guess the point I'm trying to make is these families will still have much financial need beyond what our goal is to just get them home.
Yeah, I understand.
And so right now, we don't have a clear path on how we would try to recoup any of that. And honestly, it's a burden that I don't think that anyone in our partnership really wants to put on these families any more than they already have. And we're already using our funding so efficiently that we're not, we don't have a clear path to how we would try to do that. And thank you for asking.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Chair. No further questions.
Thank you. See no other questions.
So I guess the last clarifying point I would just add to that, if I can, is that, with other communities that waited for lawsuit monies, some of them it took like 9 to 10 years before they saw any of their lawsuit funds. So we understand when families are not feeling like they can afford to wait any longer and need to try to do what they can to get home as soon as possible.
Thank you. That's very
important. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. All right. Next testifier.
Chair, the next testifier is the Royal House of Hawaii, to be followed by Tiare Lawrence.
Aloha, you guys can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I'm testifying as an allodial land tenant and a Native Hawaiian and Royal Patent heir of Hewa Hewa Helu 3237 Apanatu, whereby the new roundabout stay, where Hilton and Kihei stay out a new one. No one has had any discussion with any of us heirs who are the descendants of that land of the undivided family lifetime estate on the entire Ahupua'a Kaonaulu. And how are any of these discussions being passed without letting any of us descendants know when you are all supposed to do due diligence to find the descendants? Because I'm pretty sure all Hawaii is allodial title, and for the Royal Patent descendants to govern what happens on that land. And how is it that funding all these projects or anything that is being passed without any discussion with the descendants of the Royal Patent, because they would know what's best. All the landowners are illegal landowners and will need to round up all the heirs of the original holders of that land, Ili, Ahupua'a, and Moku, by law. You need to get every original Royal Patent, allodial title beneficiary of each island, and and who are these permits, funds, grants, gifts, and plans for? The illegal occupiers or Royal Patent allodial land tenants, or the descendants of the Royal Patents who are rightfully and the ones who should be getting these benefits? We had electric before the White House and have the most water in the world. We live in the water breath of God, Hawaii. How are locals, especially Kanaka residents, moving away from Hawaii when they are the true landowners? When they are the true landowners, which are the Royal Patents that are foreign allodial titles, with America which America highly recognizes that they don't have power, jurisdiction, or authority on. So meaning, I'm pretty sure all the decisions being made without gathering all the heirs again is illegal. And Hawaii Revised Statute 172-11, the royal patents, which are allodial titles, should be given back to the original title holders, which are the royal patents, the mahele. And when these lands were in our hands, it was fruitful, abundant, and fertile. But ever since the illegal state and the illegal squatter side, they highly mismanaged our kingdom, and it's all dry. Where is our water in every single gulch to make business yacht of Hawaii to like have a different kind of income? You know what I mean? Like economy, right? The water instead of money. We don't need money anymore. You guys like clean water for everybody's children, your children, my sister guy's children, and their children for come. They no more clean water anymore. They're not. I don't know where they're gonna get their water, Tita. So please follow my laws, my Papa's kingdom laws, and your laws, and find all the descendants again. And because they built on my grandmother's cave, they built on lands that not can see again, not in its natural state. They overthrew my auntie. They illegally jailed Kanaka and shipped them across the state like cattle. And it created so much generational and historical trauma to my grandparents and the people before them. And no more development, no more discussions, no more plans unless it's discussions or plans with the descendants and the royal patent and the descendants of the royal patent. Mahalo and God bless you guys.
Thank you. Any questions for the testifier? Seeing none, thank you very much. Next testifier.
Chair, the next testifier is Tiari Lawrence, to be followed by Eric Nakagawa.
Kalamai, I know I was here yesterday, but I didn't get to all the things that I wanted to touch on, so I came back today. Straight out from picking flowers. But anyhow, mahalo for the opportunity to submit testimony on the upcoming budget. I respectfully request you guys to consider the following proposals. I know I've talked to Councilmember Cook about this about a year ago, and so I pitched this idea. I don't know if the planning department has anything going on, but I'd like to see a fund or the county to fund a pre-approved ADU building plan program. Please consider allocating funding for a county-run program offering pre-approved accessory dwelling unit building plans. Cities like Los Angeles, San Jose, and San Francisco have adopted successful models that streamline the permitting process, reduce architectural costs, and encourage responsible infill housing. These plans are pre-approved for compliance with building, residential, and green codes, enabling homeowners to move more quickly and affordably toward building additional housing. Number two, if the county could follow up on the Launiopoko master plan funding, maybe it was like 6 or 7 years ago, we did on-site visits with the county parks department, and nothing has really happened since then. I remember coming to the council, and the council had budgeted close to $100,000 for that master plan, but I haven't seen anything come from that. Maybe Councilmember Paulton might know what's going on with that. And I know I touched a lot on people's shit yesterday, and so I was wanting the county to consider a feasibility study for a sewer system in upcountry. Please consider funding a feasibility study to explore implementing a sewer system in parts of upcountry. The county is already converting homes from cesspools to sewer connections along county roads, including Waiko Road. I worry that the Department of Health may eventually find nitrate contamination in our groundwater and require property owners to upgrade to sewer systems, even after upgrading to septic systems. Where am I? And I just would hate this financial burden be placed on our kids and future homeowners. As a parent myself, I want to make sure we think 50, 60, 80 years ahead, not just 20. A feasibility study could help determine whether sewer expansion in certain areas is viable and how it could support R1 water access for agriculture and drought resilience. And then this is for Councilmember Yukile. I wanted to, I'm a visionary, and I'm going to plant the seed, because if you don't plant the seed now, you may never see it happen in the future. But there's 40 acres across of Pukalani Superette. It's that beautiful piece of land. I would like the county to consider that area for park expansion. I urge the county to consider purchasing this 40 acres currently owned by, they call themselves Pukalani Associates, but after I did some digging, it's an out-of-state corporation based in California. This area has serious potential for a future county park that could meet the growing needs of our community, and I would be happy to elaborate more on that if you give me the time.
You didn't speak fast enough. Just kidding.
Okay, so my kids' soccer team now regularly competes with new sports clubs and adult leagues for access to limited park space. There is currently no outdoor volleyball facility upcountry, and tensions are rising between tennis players and pickleball players over shared courts. The demand for space has outgrown what we have upcountry. I'm also concerned that this parcel could be developed in the future despite being in an area with only 2-lane road access and proximity to 3 schools. Traffic is already a challenge, and more development would significantly worsen the congestion. I think this would make a beautiful park space. We definitely need it up country. One of the things that I love about living up country is that our residents live a healthy lifestyle. And man, our parks are packed every afternoon. And I actually have to drive my kids 2 times a week to town because we don't have enough space up country.
Thank you. That was fast. Any question? Member Cook.
Thank you, Ms. Lawrence, for your testimony. How do you feel, and how do you think people, your friends and family up country would feel about a community CFD to pay for a sewer system? Because my understanding is who's going to pay for it, how it's going to be, is sort of a catalyst to get the government to be able to seriously look at it.
Absolutely. I mean, I think because there's 7,000 people up country with cesspools that are obligated to pay all this money, that a CFD would be in the best interest of our overall community. And, you know, having access to R1 water in the future is going to be critical for preserving agriculture. Like I said yesterday, like Mahipono, we'll take all the R1 water we can get our hands on. And, you know, I live on a place with elevation that can be gravity fed to the current wastewater facility, which I know is privately owned, but who's to say we couldn't create a public-private partnership or something like that to service the needs for upcountry?
Okay. Thank you.
Sorry. Yeah. I'm not an engineer, but yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions for
those guys over there?
Okay. Member Rollins-Fernandez.
Mahalo, Chair. Aloha, Ms. Lawrence. Mahalo for your testimony. Regarding the pre-approved plans for ADUs, did you catch the meeting last February 21st, 2024, on this exact topic?
No, I didn't, but I did love some of those building plans that were offered to Lahaina residents. I would love to see that same type of programs be offered to people like myself who live in other parts of Maui.
Okay, I'll send you the link to that meeting so you can see the details in the presentation, and we can continue working on this because I agree, it would help.
And especially like if I wanted to apply for the ADU fund, you can't apply for it unless you have a building plan. But a building plan costs money, and it's like $6,000 and not even know that I'm going to get that grant or not versus, you know, it just makes sense to kind of have something more streamlined.
Agreed. Mahalo, Ms. Lawrence. Mahalo, John.
Thank you. Member Cook.
Thank you, Ms. Lawrence. Regarding that, I think Maui AIA have been doing a lot of work in Lahaina, and I believe they may have ADU plans that they would be willing to do that. So you could reach out to them. I'll reach out to them also, but you're absolutely correct. To basically simplify that aspect would open the door for a lot of people to be doing that. Thank you.
I would definitely reach out to them, and I'd be happy to do a presentation, benefits, go, you know, whatever. I could team up with you on that.
Okay. Any other questions? Seeing none. Thank you very much.
Thanks, you guys. Aloha.
Aloha. Next testifier.
Chair, the next and currently final individual signed up to testify is Eric Nakagawa.
Yes, you.
Oh, what? How come I gotta follow Tiara? She always asking about my stuff, but nah, I love her. Aloha, Chair. Aloha, members. I thought I was done doing testimonies, but I guess not. I think Shane and Leslie kind of gave a good overall what you guys are cutting, what the implications are. So I'll just take it from like a real big picture. That's what I always do, right? Like, and so first, once again, I applaud tomorrow also for you guys trying to figure out how to minimize the sewer rates, and we do that the whole budgeting process, right? But as we kind of now see, like, unfortunately, it's not simple math and it's not super easy running a utility, right? So I think bigger picture, like, because I just want to kind of tell you guys this now, because in the future, you guys are going to see these large rate increases, as Shane was saying, right? Kind of kicking it down the can down the road. So we're very simple, and you guys know it. I'll just reiterate it. Like, operations keeps us running, right? Day to day, paying electricity bill, just like you guys with your house. Water bills, whatever it is. If something breaks, our guys go and fix it, whether they're during work or whether it's overtime, right? So all of ABC. So that's why we stress not to touch operations, because that kind of makes us run throughout the year. It also helps CIP side in a sense of preventive maintenance and doing all this type of work to prolong the life of the equipment that we need to really replace in CIP. Now switch to CIP program, right? Like, it is a calculated, strategically placed out based on keeping sewer rates down, but also aging infrastructure, right? So that it addresses aging infrastructure, which keeps spills at very minimal rate, right? But unfortunately, like, I mean, that's the lesser one that maybe can always be extended 1 year or 2 years. It's the calculated risk once again, right? So if you look historically, like the past 10 years, you guys don't hear anything about wastewater spills because we've been super conservative, right? I mean, that's just the way it is. And you guys funded everything every time. So just a little bit about rates. If you look, it's like in 88, it was a 20%, right? It's a cycle, right? So in 94, it's 45%, right? In 2000, it was 29%. In 08, it was like 18%. And ever since then, it's always been 2 or 3, right? So that's since, like almost 20 years ago, right? So now you're going to see 9%, right? 8%. You're going to see a little bit higher going down. I just wanted to come back and reiterate because I don't want to come back and testify again. Like, don't touch operations, touch CIP, right? So, but in general, like, I think you guys kind of get the gist. It's pretty complicated, and yeah, but if you guys ever want to make this, I don't know if it's still legal or what, but just call me and I'll kind of explain it to you in a bigger picture, right? Like, here's what happens, here's what, if you do this, there's definitely a very tangible, not consequence, but implication to us. But we can always say, okay, we understand there's give and take, right? Because I've been in Shane's seat before, and I understand there has to be some type of give and take. So I'm open for any questions.
And
not even ask all one time.
And we have your phone number. We can call you. Member Johnson.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, Eric. Good to see you again. So the question I'm going to have, of course, you probably heard it on the floor, was
why does
Lanai pay so much? Single family and duplex dwelling not served by county water systems per month. That's our whole island. Like, I know there's private water systems in West Maui, all over pockets, but for Lanai, this is the whole island. So why is it so high?
So Lanai is a flat rate because private water, right? I mean, but technically, they don't pay more, they pay less, right? If you look at the rate, it's $72.50, I think, right?
Yeah.
Whatever the proposal rate.
$72.50.
Right, but if you look at everybody's other residential, right, they have a base charge of 51 something, right? But they have a usage charge. So technically, on average, they all pay 90 something dollars. So technically, I mean, in reality, Lanai is not paying as much as everybody. But the algorithms and all the rate, Shane already went into that, right? This is how everybody's distribution of their fair share is, right? So just kind of letting you know, yeah. So really, they don't pay more than everybody. They're
Is
actually
it tied
less.
to because we have a private water system?
Yes and no, because private water systems, we don't control any of what the water usage and all that kind of stuff. So we can't get that data. I mean, we can always request it from the individual agencies, but because there's just certain areas like in by Kapolua side, right? They're same thing, flat rate. I mean, I have it right there, and then they pay us $70-something, right? That's just kind of, and it's all based, once again, whatever that rate model spits out, right? And everybody's fair share.
Okay, so if any sewer funds, CIPs are bonded, would that impact rates?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so great question. So the reason why, and I gotta remember how to say it nicely. So the reason why we're here is always CIP. I'm just gonna let you guys know now, right? So all of those projects, remember, we all want to do these great things other than just complying with permits and providing a reliable system. We want to expand reuse. We want to expand services to different people. We want to get out of sea level rise. All these different things. Now we're starting to implement them, but all the culmination of projects that we've done in the past. Remember, I used to tell you guys, here's our debt service. It's going up. And because of debt service going up, guess what? Rates has to go up because we got to maintain the system. But now we have a way bigger mortgage, right? For you guys. You guys are all familiar with that. Hey, we got a bigger mortgage and we got to pay that. So that's the difficulty in a sense of providing community what they want, deserve, whatever the words are, and just staying bare bones, and when you flush, it'll be taken care of, right? So those are the two balance that I understand is very difficult on our end, on this end, right? We want to balance all the needs and wants, but now it's kind of the reality. So if you look at the raise, right, I think we put it out, it's out of that $5 million that goes up in operations, $4 million is debt service.
Okay.
Right, so if you look, I think I put it in the EM1 or whatever. So when we keep talking about CIP, like this year, we have like 90 million or something, right? So imagine so GET, you had a great question. Does that help us? Yes, because that's an additional funding source that does not impact sewer users, right?
So I would assume it would go down, but here we are.
But it doesn't go down because the only way it goes down is if you get rid of certain projects. But we can't get rid of the projects, right?
Gotcha.
So you minimize the amount of, so basically mortgages is just spanning the 20 years, right? And so you're paying that debt along the way. So it's kind of, you don't pay for it today, but in 2 years when it matures.
Okay, you answer my question on that. So why does Lanai not, or any dwelling not served by county water system, why no usage charge for these guys?
I mean, essentially because they have a private water system and we just don't know
how much usage they
Yeah,
have.
we don't know what they're using. So there's a flat rate that we charge, yeah. But I can ask, I can follow up in writing for a little more detail. I'll ask our accountant.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Thank you,
Thank you, Member Paulton.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mr. Nakagawa, for the big picture view. I did find the answer to the question, which was kind of a non-answer because it didn't answer the question. But I wanted to clarify, like you're saying, not kicking the can down the road and things like that, which I 100% agree with. Why would you tell the Kaiaulu Onapili to tie into the sewer on the lower road below the Latter-day Saints site? Because that road is eroding and it's been a problem for a long time that it's right next to a charged water line and there is a big concern of a sewer spill in it. It was an issue before the fire and it hasn't really been addressed. Public Works was talking about rerouting the land, but that guy, Adam Lee, bought it now. And so, like, why wouldn't you advise the developer that if they have a 60-year project, maybe tying into the lower road, which is in the Slurexa, isn't a great idea, and not just build it above the highway in preparation for managed retreat? not even mention the issue that we're having there. Big picture.
Okay, Chair.
You want it in writing?
I mean, I can add, I was gonna play devil advocate and say, what does this have to do with budget? Anyway.
Big picture.
Big picture. So I tell like a lot of these people, I told planning, they're right across from us, right? Like, and I think every utility will tell you the same thing, right? When the road moves, then we'll move. Honestly, that's the bottom line. Because if the road doesn't move, the people don't move. If the people don't move, we still gotta service them, right? Whether it's just one property or all the properties, right? But as soon as the road...
Picture, this is a 60-year brand new project, and you're gonna tie it into aging infrastructure that next big rain could blow out the water line and the sewer line, and then we get the big sewer spill you're talking about.
Right, so either, right, we could take your approach and say, hey, I don't think by ordinance they cannot, because if you have a sewer line in front, they're required to tie in. But I could take that stance if you write something and make it law. And I could be like, hey, you know what? Based on this infrastructure that will no longer be there in the future, you need to develop a sewer system to take it up here. But based on the laws right now that I have, I don't have the authority to say, hey, you need to build this total separate system when you have a connection right 10 feet in front of you. You know what I mean? So that's what I kind of say, like, so even though this is a 60-year project, let's say, right, I still gotta service everybody over there. And so I can't really say you cannot, and then these guys can just because they're not developing. I don't know if that makes sense.
Give them a heads up that the road is eroding and there's a GO trade next to it, and it's a concern.
I think everybody is already aware of that, right? Because Public Works is the one that...
Not the guys on the continent.
Oh, you're talking about like the actual, yeah. So that will be handled through the building permit process.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So you know what? I'm gonna ask we stick to budget and Member Hudgens.
Yeah, because my answers are too long.
Yeah.
No, thank you so much. I do appreciate you guys coming out because we're talking about all the CIP projects and your guys' willingness to maybe cut some if necessary. For your 25 projects, are you guys all on schedule? And do you anticipate to stay on schedule for 26 for the ones that were originally proposed?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think I'm almost positive you asked that question, right? Like, so the only reason they went down to 75, remember that whole, so I mean, historically, past 5 years, we've always been 100%. It's just that, unfortunately, last year, I think there was 3 projects I told you, right? Like, that permit-wise, we couldn't finish.
Okay.
And so that's why that dip went down. So
Okay.
I talked to my CIP guy again, and he said, yeah, we're all on schedule. There are some stuff he should have pushed out earlier, so it should have been like maybe half completed, encumbered. But he said, no, he's going to finish that half this month, and then the rest will be bid out in the end of the year. So I think that's for fiscal year 25, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just so we can anticipate what you guys can do in 26, but
yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, all your guys' answers. I know the 3 of you coming down is a lot, so thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So, Member Cook. Sorry, I didn't see you.
Thank you, Mr. Nakagawa, for giving the big picture and the details. So as far as the CIP, the ones that the director mentioned, could you give us kind of an idea, taking those out, what the impact is?
Yeah. So
potential impact is.
All right. So those are, so basically those are low on the priority list because they, like, for instance, the South Kie study, the Wailuku Pump Station study, erosion control, right? Those are just studies. So technically they're not really started, but it's something we need to look at. Even like the Lahaina siphon and the EPA Lahaina sewer rehab, right? Those are all things that kind of not really started yet, and so we can push them down a few years. And the key for CIP is, like, if you look at our 6-year CIP, it's about 130 million next year, 120 million, that goes down to an 80, 60, right? So if you can push it out far enough, then everything starts to balance out and you don't have these sewer rates down the road. And so those are some of the problems that we just figured, okay, well, let's push them out because push comes to shove right now, and we just gotta tighten the screws. The other EPA one, sewer rehab, that we pushed out, technically in 2 years, we have 2 million again. So we can always just pick it up in 2 years, right? So it was just a kind of a, hey, what can we do? It's like a calculated, hey, let's push these out. Yeah.
So my clarifying question, I guess, is it's something you can live with, but don't misunderstand that this is something that doesn't have a consequence, doesn't have some payment, and we should avoid, if possible, in the future.
Yes, yeah.
Does that kind of summarize it?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you. No further questions for Mr. Nakagawa. Thank you very much. Nice seeing you here.
Nice seeing you guys.
Nice seeing
Hello.
you. Okay. Any more testifiers? Oh, last testifier walking down.
Last but not least, JC Long, Kuloko Waiko Ahupoa. I'll just make it quick. Thank you for the Royal House of Kamehameha coming in here and getting us grounded. And the recycling deal with our, what's her name? Shoot. Cecile Powell, yeah, thank you. She's got red hair. I believe that's her true color. And the Royal House of Kamehameha guys will tell you, don't make a girl with red hair mad, because there's this one called Pele. So yeah, $400,000, put that back in, please, for recycling.
Thank you. Any questions? See none. Next testifier.
Chair, there's currently no one else who signed up to testify. Would you like me to do a last call?
Yes, please.
If somebody would like to testify in the chamber, please let staff know, or on Microsoft Teams, please raise your hand. This is final call. 3, 2, 1. Chair, it appears that nobody wishes to testify. The individual who has their hand raised has already testified.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, members, I'm going to close public testimony with your permission, and we will receive written testimony. I think they said whoever ET already testified. So, all right, members, so I want to break for lunch. It's 12:01, and do you want to come back at 1:30?
Chair, is that legal?
Oh, I think I just asked to close public testimony.
But then we cannot go to, we cannot go to
Oh, I
lunch.
see what you're saying.
We gotta do
Okay,
discussion.
we'll start. Okay, so close public testimony, and who would start this? It would be Member Sinensi. You can ask a question. And then we'll go to lunch. So human concerns.
We're doing Chair, we're doing questions? What's the format here? I thought we were like proposing like cuts
Oh, I'm
and.
sorry. Yeah.
Are we asking
Operations.
questions?
We'll do operations.
What are we asking questions about?
So if you have any amendments, Member Sinensi, this is your committee, or for operations A and B account, for pages 10 to 13 in Bill 41. Anybody have any amendments? You don't have any, okay. Member Paulton.
Thank you, Chair. I move to cut B8A paren 3, $1 million.
Okay.
Second.
Is there a second? Member Paulton, second by Member Uhajans. Okay, explain.
Director Mitchell said I could.
Yeah, human concerns.
Chair?
Human concerns.
Yeah, apologies. I believe the motion on the floor is, pertains to the Department of Housing.
Oops.
Oh, O comes before U. LMNOPQRSTU.
Yep. Number 8. Yeah, B8. Are we not on B8?
I just was going
Housing program?
Okay,
in order. You said go in order, right?
we are.
Yeah, in
So
order
my
of the
notes are
bill.
wrong. Let us start then with page 9 for housing. Any amendments, members?
We don't have a motion on the floor already? That
No, it didn't get.
Member
Did you-
Paulton's motion
Did you second? You didn't second.
is for housing.
Okay.
You
Is
said
yours
Member
for housing?
Uhajan seconded it.
Is yours for housing?
Yes, it's for housing. Director Mitchell didn't give me authority over Director Tsuhako's budget.
Okay, go ahead. Housing. So it's B8, what did you say?
B8 small a paren 3.
Okay. And motion made by Member Paulton, second by Member Hodgins. Proceed.
The motion was for,
Cut $1 million.
Cut $1 million. And because Director Mitchell said you could.
I'm sorry, you said 1 million?
Yeah, I proposed 3 million, but he didn't go for that.
Okay, thank you.
So it's 1/3 less than my original proposal.
Okay. So it's B8A3, you said, huh? Okay, any discussion? None?
The budget director also said we could.
3 or 1? Okay. We are
Not
good.
3, 1.
1. Okay, all in favor, raise your hand, say aye. Okay, so who's not here is Chair Lee and Member Kama, so it's 7 ayes and 2 excused. Motion carries. Okay, I am going to break for lunch. And be back at what time? 1:30? Okay, 1:30.